Let's see if we can get him. Make the music a little bit quieter. Make the music even more quieter than it is already. And let's see if we can get him. Okay. I'm a little bit nervous, I have to say. I'm a little bit nervous. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, Ketraar. Can you hear me?
Sam, can you hear me okay as well?
Yes, I can hear you. Very good.
Perfect.
Perfect. Let me just make your volume a little bit higher because you're like a little bit quiet, but that's fine. That's fine.
Yes, I'm a noob at these things.
Okay. So, you want to share your camera or is it okay like that?
I think it's okay like that.
Okay, good.
No need to scare people off.
Wait, let me just do something really quick so that we can at least see when you're talking. Let's see, got that. Give me just a second.
No one wants to see an old grumpy man on
Oh,
camera.
come on. Oh, come on. Okay, here we go. This is nice. Good, there we go. Now people can see when you're talking. You got a green light around you.
Yes, that's perfect. So people can imagine myself as a 1.80 m
What?
tall, handsome chap.
Exactly.
Just use your imagination, just.
Exactly. So, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're watching the stream, and also you can read chat. This will be essential for today.
Yes, I'm watching. I just put the stream on mute. Obviously, I have slight delay, I guess,
Okay.
but it will be fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Just have the audio from Discord, and you can read chat. That's very important. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ketraar could be louder. I already have him at 200% already.
Maybe I can tweak something on my end. 1 second.
Okay, but not too much. I already got you like 200% plus.
Okay. Okay, people also can put their own volume a bit, and then I can eat my microphone a bit more.
Eat your microphone, but not,
Yes.
Not too much.
Also, I'm a nerd, so I tend to talk inside
Okay.
as well.
Okay. That's fine. Absolutely fine. But today we're talking about something that you really enjoy and really like. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool. So,
yes, I'm a gamer at heart. I like games a lot.
There you go. Then you're here at the right place.
Indeed.
So, Ketraar, let me ask you the absolutely first question. This is very important. Coffee or tea?
Coffee. But
Nice. That's good. That's good.
Coffee.
Clap in chat. Very nice. Then you're at the right place.
Yes, I need my coffee in the morning, otherwise I can't function.
Then thanks so much for being here and cheers.
Yes.
Ketraar, am I right that you are still working at Egosoft?
Yes, I'm working full time at Eaglesoft now since about a year, I think.
Okay.
Or it's almost a year now.
So that means you started working for Egosoft with Cradle of Humanity? Is that true?
Yeah, I think it already had started a few months back when I joined full time, but I was aware of it at least.
Okay. You know what? Let me tweak a little bit more on my side because it's like really it could be more.
I think it's doing an auto
now.
thing here on my end as well.
Say something again?
Yes, something.
Okay, good. Yeah. Now we're on par. Sorry.
But
Good. This is also learning for me. So it's not like it's given that I do this every day. There you go. Cool. So you're working since a year. So that means you started working on Farnham's Legacy before you started working for Egosoft.
yes, a long time before. We started on Legacy in 2016. We had some major breaks on and off due to several people being busy in real life, and yeah, enthusiasm as in these projects comes and goes. So yeah, it's not uncommon to projects like these that I've been in some that even die out because yeah, if you go into the forums, then all the major mods suffer from this when they take too long to get finished.
Oh, okay.
People lose interest, they move on, or life just changes, and then yeah. So fortunately, we were able to push through and release it finally.
Could you like number how many people you started with and with how many you ended?
Yeah, well, mainly we were working, Julian, Matt, and I, from the beginning. We had some people at the start that helped out with ideas and other things. We used also some assets from people that were barely involved in the project, like Alex Vanderbilt. He gave us some sector backgrounds that we could use. We used some ships from other people that we knew from the modding scene, like Laux or Ifrit. Yeah, so there are several people that, but some then just had other things to do in life and were not as active now at the end. But we also had a rather strong testing team that helped us for several months already, starting to with the balancing and with the with testing a few of the stuff that we were finalizing. Yeah. And I think we did a pretty good job, I must say. Obviously, there are some
you did.
Some issues, but must say I'm surprised with not too many.
You did. Like a lot of people are already like playing nothing else since it came out for days now.
Yes, I saw a few streams, yours as well. Obviously, some people struggle more than others, and I understand that, especially people that are used to X4 coming back, it's going to be an uphill battle, because X3 is very peculiar in that how it's set up in the menus, especially. Yeah. So
it also I would say it's not so forgiving as X4, right?
No, it's not. No. And we I must admit, especially Matt, Psycho, as you know it in the forums.
Okay.
Matt and I, we are not the forgiving kind of people. We like to put challenges in things and make stuff hard. We have to often cut down on what we actually want to do, because if we would have free reign, we would do stuff probably way too hard for most people, I guess.
Is there a thing that you nonetheless pushed that hard? Is there one thing that you pushed from the start to the end until it was really good?
Yes, diplomacy. We're starting to having some discussions in the forums now. I knew this would be one thing that people would having very polarized opinions on, because it's a very intrusive thing. But it's one thing I care a lot is the consequences in games. Games without consequences lose some of the of the flair, because you can just do whatever you want. That's true, for me at least, it loses a bit of the charm. So if you have to worry about losing things and you have to pay attention to your stuff, is something that I find very it's a core thing from gameplay design perspective, and I keep trying to add that wherever I can.
Okay. Yeah, I already figured that diplomacy is maybe the one thing that you say. I was like pointing in that direction, because this is such a feature that nobody saw before, and like at the start, like I myself, I'm just at the tutorial missions, like if you want to call it like that, and diplomacy is just like we got introduced to that diplomacy feature. But there are so many options in there, and I guess there are so many things that you can impact the universe by by just doing like sending agents or yeah, stuff like that. It's really
Yes, and
a lot.
on top of that, there is also the dynamic relations system that we implemented that goes in hand with that. That has, at the moment, I think there is at least one bug in it that is, ruining some people's lives. But the idea is once this is ironed out, is that your actions will have a ripple effect, so to speak. So in the sense that if you do something in one place, it will have an impact in another place, but obviously not in the way it's doing now. But still, in a good way, so that your game will not be stale, like before, where you just could max out everybody's relations to the max, and then you could have some tea and go to sleep. But the idea is to have a system that keeps you engaged into having to manage your universe, that the universe changes along the lines and not just stays the same over a very long period. And so the diplomacy part, where you have actions with agents, is to try and give you tools to then live with the consequences of the first bit of it. So you can send agents to directly influence relations, but you can also just say, no, I don't give a damn about anyone, I just go my own way, and then you just steal stuff. So you can, I think for the first time, be almost 100% independent from all the races. Back in the day, you would have to keep one race friendly if you wanted to, buy ships or build stations, but with your HQ, you can pretty much be independent all the time.
Okay, so I understand. And you said dynamic relations. Does that also mean that the relations between AI and AI are dynamic, or just to the player itself?
No, this is mostly player-centric in the sense that we use the backstory of the X games, in the sense that, for example, Argon and Boron have a lore-wise an alliance. So if you interact with the Argon, it will reflect to the Boron. So if you interact with the Argon in a positive way, it will have a positive impact in the Boron as well as this ripple effect I was talking about before. On the contrary, it will have a negative impact on the Paranit, because the Paranit are enemies to the Argon. And so if you go into the encyclopedia, you can see which factions have alliances with whom, and are enemies with what, and yeah.
Yeah, so
any action you take will have then consequences on those.
Yeah, we know that already. We know that, like, from X4. I know X4 is now before the X3 DLC for me.
Yeah,
So we know that from X4 already, but you could at the end be friend with everyone, and that's not possible anymore.
No, this is we have capped the two top ranks out of, because those are the two ranks where you can have access to the bigger ships like destroyers and carriers, which are in X3 are very powerful, extremely more powerful than everything else. So basically we're saying you can be friends with everybody until that point. Once you go to the top two ranks, you are actively saying, okay, I'm making an alliance with this faction, therefore the opposite faction will not allow you to go that far.
Is that fixed, or can you change that later?
No, you can then say use your diplomatic tools, your agents, to influence the other faction and push that one. It will drop you to the one you had before, or just doing missions or whatever. So it's not like it's a decision for life. You have hopefully plenty of tools to change things as you see fit. But the question is it's not just like you can change it, but it will have an effect. That's the major takeaway from this.
Okay, very nice, very nice.
It will have adjustment time for people, because this will be very intrusive.
Okay. So I also saw you did a lot of voice acting in this DLC.
You are confusing me with Owen.
No, not you yourself, but you did for this DLC a lot of voice
Yes,
acting.
that's funny. Yes, I'm a joker. I can't pass the time to make a bloody damn joke. Yes, no, we were fortunate enough for Egosoft to allow us to do some voice recordings, especially Betty, which gives a completely different feel if you have things that are named and descriptions that are spoken and sectors that are spoken as well. So that was really nice of them to allow us to do that. That obviously that was all done based on the X4 actors and stuff. So we did it kind of in tandem to Cradle of Humanity to you.
Okay, so you used basically their studio time and made something on top.
Yes, basically we just added more text to it and said, would it be okay? And yeah, Bernd was very upfront on that and saying it will be fine. And so that was really nice.
Really, really good. So that's one part where you actively worked with Egosoft together. Are there more parts where you actively work together?
Yes, we have, for example, the HQ. We have to thank Lino and some artists that Lino was. He made the block out and he made the design. He was kind enough to provide us for that because we wanted at least the HQ because it's a central portion of this expansion. So having a new HQ with a new model was nice. We also have a very special ship, which I don't want to spoil a lot.
Okay, good.
But it's also one that was made based on a block art for X4. That Lino did that as well. We had some help from Marcos, which is usually the universe designer. He helped us some things. He also made a new ship as well for the Terran, and helped us with some gate issues we had from AP and other things. Then Klaus helped a lot on the engine side for several things. For example, the integration of the LFL.
Okay.
Was thanks to Klaus and some other. And then Peter obviously with and CBJ as well. CBJ is basically was the project lead on this thing. So he spent a lot of Fridays.
Oh wow.
Getting to.
So even the Egosoft employees became modders in this part.
Yeah, well, yeah. Maybe probably not willingly, but yeah. No, but that was quite a lot of help. As people maybe a lot of people that are used to the Egosoft forums, they might know this, but it's always been like that. This is not like a one-off thing. We did a project for Albion Prelude called Shady Business. That was a community-driven project as well. We did several plots over the years, some smaller, some bigger. There were, going back to X2, I think there were community-made content in a thing we call DevNet. It's a developers network. It's a thing where you communicate with developers to do some projects. The bonus pack, for example, most people will have heard about that.
Yeah,
it's a community-driven project that is done via DevNet. This is kind of normal, not in this scale, obviously, but usually modding support was always normal for Egosoft. So we have been doing this kind of thing for ages now.
And how did you end up working with Egosoft then? How did you end up working for Egosoft at the end?
Bernd asked me one day, and it kind of was the right timing because I was a bit fed up I was working for 15 years on the job I was before. And as I said, I like games a lot, so it was I said, well, why not? I'm not the youngest, so it was a bit scary at the beginning to start a new thing. So going from professional to noob in like a few days. But that was very. I suppose it's like the experience of the X games, and I've been playing them for probably 20 years now. I know a lot about the lore of the game, and yeah, so I think that was the reason.
So now you're a game developer.
Yes, which is weird.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Is there some things maybe? Okay, let's talk about differences and similarities of X3 and X4, because I would really like to get a little bit deeper into the development side. Are there things that you think are extremely wait, I had this question in my mind. Do you wait. I need to phrase that right because it's not that easy. Are there things in X3 that are extremely complicated, but you still want to have them in X4? You know what I mean?
Yes, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Huh. Good question.
Like because I saw a lot of complicated things.
I don't think there is
here.
anything that could not make it to X4 from a technical point of view. X4 is much more. Yeah, it's better technically. Obviously, it has very wide technical aspect that got revamped. I mean, like a lot, not just a lot. Though again, I'm not really a programmer, so I'm just take my answers with a grain of salt. But
so fine,
yeah,
it's fine.
But I don't think there is anything technically that would not make it into X4, unlike the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want, for example, I'm hoping some of the features in X3FL might inspire some look into maybe adding some of those into X4. Maybe.
Like what? Just say one thing you would really like to convert into X4.
Yeah, well, diplomacy, obviously.
Diplomacy, of course. Okay.
Yeah, that I have to. That will be, as an ex-gamer, yeah, that would be the thing I really would like to.
But what about how do you feel like this different purposes for ships, like even more in-depth, deep purposes for ships? Like we're talking about ships that can only transport wares, other that can take people, and so on. Would you like to see that again, or are you good with the way it is at the moment?
Yes, I would like to expand on that. Actually, I would like to see more specialized ships. I would even go as far, and maybe there could be more roles for ships that have more. But again, this is always this is always a tricky thing to do, I guess, because if you want to do, that's the thing about X3 is there is so many options, and this puts a lot of people off because they they get overwhelmed. So it's it's not an easy thing to decide. You have to strike a balance between playability and use, because the one thing we had in X3, for example, is that just adding new ships would remove all the others from the equations. People would just beeline to that one good TS or that one good fighter or whatever.
Okay.
So you have all these 700 other ships that, well, not 700, but like 300 ships that are then useless basically, and just the AI flies them because people know this is the good one. So it's difficult to strike a balance where,
Yeah, we already saw that in Cradle of Humanity right now with all the new ships. Like people just wanted to have like these big strong Terran ships that can crush everyone, but just like you said at the moment is you can't just throw these ships into the game, otherwise you wouldn't play the others, right?
Sorry, I missed the last part.
Oh, I mean you can't just throw in these very strong ships. Like people wanted to have the Terran ships extremely strong so that they can crush everyone.
Yes.
But on the other hand, nobody would play the others anymore, right?
Right, exactly. That's a good example and I actually recall this being a struggle because lore-wise, the Terrans would just wipe the floor with everyone. If you would go, if you would just go lore-wise, usually the Terrans would just pop up and then everybody dies.
Okay.
That would be it. That would be it. But gameplay-wise, this is obviously not very good. So,
I mean, if you're talking lore-wise, maybe the lore is just not that far that you could say the others are advancing too, and maybe the Terrans slept a little bit.
Yeah, well, you can, and I think this is what we did. It's like you find quote unquote excuses, and then to just you push the lore a bit into the direction you want the gameplay to be. I was just using an extreme example of if you would be just say, no, we want the lore to be this exactly, then that would be an issue to balance things to be fun to play. And as you said, if you go overboard, then you just ruined all the other efforts you did months ago. Obviously, people like new stuff, so it's obvious at the beginning they like the shiny bits, so they will. But then hopefully balance kicks in, and then they start to make better decisions and decide which ones they want based on other reasons.
Okay. When we're talking about ships, are you already excited about piracy?
Yes, don't put me on.
No. That's all. I will not put you in a bad situation. No. I just wanted to have a laugh from you. That's all.
Yeah.
We read about this just before we called. I don't know if you saw it, but of course. We saw the news in quotation.
I found the article about the funding.
The funding, yeah, exactly. We found the page about the funding. That was just pun intended.
Yeah.
Of course.
That's the internet for you today. No surprises.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. I want to.
Yeah, let's stay away from
I will, no problem. Don't want to burn here any lines between us.
No, it's fine.
And don't want to have don't want to have an angry call from Bernd or something.
Yes, and then I'm out of a job tomorrow.
Yeah, more on your side, not on my side, whatever. For me it's whatever. But I want to tell chat at this moment that everyone that wants to put in a question, just write them in chat. Like I said, Ketraar is also reading the chat. And if you see something that you want to answer immediately, please feel free to do that.
I can answer one now. It's the Air Elemental 9. You can get more agents by doing genetic missions or, not buying them, hire them at the Explorers Guild.
So should I read this really quick?
The question is, he lost his agent. Where can I get more, basically?
Oh, okay. And the answer?
The answer is you get more by playing defend station missions and transport passenger missions. They have agent marked as a reward, and you can get them with luck at the Explorers Guild for discovery points.
Okay. Is there a limit to agents you can get?
There is a limit that you can have at the same time. 5.
5. Okay, but
you cannot have more than 5 at one time.
5 actively running or 5 in your I don't know how to call it, in your equipment.
In your HQ you can only have 5 at the same time. Once one expires, then the missions will pop up for you to get more.
Okay.
Yes, Acro. Yes, we do 100 more plots for sure. No.
I think you have other work to do at the moment.
Yeah.
Expires. Yeah, Peanut Cat just mentioned expires. I have not seen that before. I was not aware that they expire.
Yeah. Well, I think we call it in-game. We call it retirement. I think. They just they tire out after a few tasks. They get they tire out and then they retire. I think.
That way you constantly need to get them because otherwise it would be very powerful, I guess. Or what was your decision behind it?
Yeah, I think this was just a balancing question, because otherwise you had to have a way to make agents be worth something, in the sense that because I don't know if you know this, if you send them into risky espionage missions, they can be killed off, or if you are putting them on a station that gets blown up, they die immediately, so you'd lose them, even if they have more tasks. So this is for that so the a way we found to give an expiration dates to, because otherwise you just could spam them.
Yeah.
And so now you have to at least have some balance into where do I put them, what do I use them for.
Yeah, and if you don't pay attention, they're like in a moment they're gone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but hopefully once people are used to that, is a on the right side, there is a number that tells them so many tasks are still available, and each task that you send them costs so many tasks to perform, and so they can make informed decisions.
Oh wow, I was not aware of that. We need to take a look at that later.
Yes, yes. Since Sacro is in the chat, then I will say he put like 700,000 small things that you will never see in the game. So only optimizations and stuff like that. But there is so many small things, like search bars on menus if you go, and It's a huge list on script commands that were added.
Something that we really would like to have in X4 is like hyperlinked words in the encyclopedia? ?
Yes, that would be really nice. I think there were some people already glancing on that.
Oh yeah. I got another one from Exiled Royal. He says, can we assume, since it was released on official channels, that the X3 Farnham's Legacy storyline is now considered canon?
Yes, we did put quite a lot of effort to try and stay within canon as much as possible. As with any X game, there you will find things need to you just need to squeeze in maybe some or step over some canon here and there. That's just how game development goes. But hopefully we didn't do many transgressions. I think we have several tie-ins to X4, for example. For the people that play later into the game, we did some references, because the development of X3FL was at the same time as Cradle of Humanity, so we thought it would be fun to put in some references. One Terran spy will have a crossover, for example.
Okay.
So
I mean,
we tried hard to stay in canon.
In the intro, we already saw something that we knew from Cradle of Humanity, like 121. You know what I mean?
Yes, it's the intro scene, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, because the thing is about making footage in X3 is that most of the story is very old. So that bit of the story even predates X Beyond the Frontier. So the Farnham's voyage it's like, I don't know how many, but it's like a few decades before X Beyond the Frontier even starts. So it was either we were trying to use some footage that would reflect that, but not be that pixely. So I decided to just shoot the cutscene from the Pioneer game start, but exchange it with the male protagonist, and then claim it's Farnham.
Okay. There was one thank you there for the agents as a good mechanic, so that one's for you.
Oh, thanks.
And Tommy Gunn asked, is there we're advancing like to the next question, because it's also like canon based. That fits really good. Is there an info how Borans lost the sector the Void because it's controlled in X4 by Antigone?
It's not the same sector.
It's not the same. So it's
No.
just called the void because it's like in the void.
We just said. So if you want the boring answer about the technicalities, is we just used names that we already had pre-recorded when we
Okay. So you
started
don't.
this project.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the boring answer. The canon answer is it's just another. There will be. We just call it the void back then, and this is just one. Somebody called it the void, and the void in X4 is just another
Okay, because
system
it's
that nothing.
just another void somewhere else.
Yeah, but the technical answer is we just used a name that already existed as a voice recording when we started this project.
Okay, you could just forget about this and just tell the people the other version. That's
Yes, well, I don't
I know.
mind. I mean, I like to be very transparent about things.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just from a storytelling turning point, just it makes definitely sense.
Mhm.
So,
So that.
exactly.
Yeah, Peanut Cat asks about the void making it to X4. I don't think so. It's just
okay.
a throwaway system. It's just a system we use to put the player into a thing that they are cut off. So we would, when you cut off players from the rest of the game, you can, guide them, let's say like that, into doing the steps you want. Even though I know some people, even though some people found out ways to really go around that, but the idea was that you would lead people into the game in a sort of tutorial-like manner, so that even people not as familiar with X3 could have a way into the game and not be overwhelmed by a sandbox start like in the past, where
it makes
you just
sense.
have 700 million options. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it makes sense for your game start. So everyone that played or that plans to play Farnham's Legacy, they will definitely get what also what they will get what you meant with the void, because you really feel like, oh, it's a part of the galaxy where there's nothing and we're lost in here, and hey, we're all lost together.
Yes, I thought that it was very well fitting. Once we, for example, we knew at some point we knew that the void was present in X4, and then we could have changed it to something else. But I actually thought it was fitting the scenario, as you said now, that the fact that you are stranded in a place that is void of stuff, and this sense of being lost was quite important to me. And also to Julian, who wrote the story here, called as X2 Illuminatus. He's a very good writer. So it was important to give this sense of dread of, because all this, the whole Farnham's Legacy, starting point is this notion that gates are shutting down, and people exist in the UX universe, so it's not a fun thing to be stranded on the wrong side of a shutdown gate. So, and we wanted to bring that across a bit.
Okay, you got one other thing from Arrow Name, which is more like a bug request, what I would say. there's some issue with voice acting. Where it's maybe a wrong version, or it sounds like from a recorded phone call.
Well, people have to understand this spans multiple games, so I think at least there are 3, if not more, versions of Betty, for example. Because some voice lines come from X3 Reunion, so this is like 2005. And then you have Terran Conflict got some recordings, Prelude didn't get any, and now, so Psycho just confirmed it, so it's for 4 Bettys, so it's normal that you don't get 100% the exact same. Sometimes not even the same voice actor, so that's just life.
4 Bettys, Psycho just says.
Yeah, exactly. So no.
Okay. You said at the start that you were very familiar with the lore of the X universe. So that
Yes.
that question from Kalen is pretty nice. What's the lore behind the accelerators, not the gates? They work
Yeah.
like gates, but they aren't gates.
Yes.
Even after the gate shutdown, they work pretty fine. You know something about that?
Yes, accelerators are like slingshots. You have to understand. It's like something takes your ship and slingshots it to another accelerator that catches that one. So it's not a wormhole like gates. Gates are based on wormholes, and also gates are built by the ancients, not by. And the transorbital accelerators it's a Terran technology. Terrans invented that, and if you played, I think, Albion Prelude, you will understand that some Teladi shady guy stole that technology from the Terran for Jefferson, and they start, which was the prelude to X Rebirth, where they would, start to put this type of technology into highways and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So
So
maybe
they are,
maybe some
that's
of
why
you,
they are not impacted by the gate shutdown.
yeah, because it's completely different physics.
Yes, they're not comparable. Even though they're technically a gate in the game, they are lore-wise not the same thing at all. It's like if you have a slingshot is the best analogy I can find. It's just you just take the ship and then it accelerates exponentially in a straight line, and then on the other side another gate and an accelerator catches you to slow you down to normal speed, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we already saw videos about that where it sometimes does not slow you down and crashes you into a planet. I don't know if you saw these videos, but there are some.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The technology does not always align with the lore.
Okay. You saw anything interesting?
I'm looking. It's a lot of text, and I'm
Mhm,
really not
yep.
good at keeping up with two things at the same time.
That's hard, right?
Kalen and Tigris, didn't Terrans also build the gates? Yes, Terrans also built gates. They started to build two in the Sol system way back when. One was sent to Alpha Centauri. The other one got blown up when the Xenon invaded. That's the story of X Beyond the Frontier. If you go in X4 to Mars, I think, there is a gate that is broken.
Yeah.
And there is an encyclopedia entry for that explains that.
Encyclopedia is good because that's the next thing. we're getting
Yes.
very, very good question after question. That's like on top of each other.
Yes, I'm fine.
This is especially for you. Would you be able to poke Egosoft about the X4 in-game encyclopedia to finish its descriptions and fix the pile of incorrect and missing data? That's a lot. I know that's
Yes.
a lot.
Yes, I don't need any poking. Everyone at Egosoft is aware of the shortcomings and the things that need to be done. So it's as always, it's a time issue.
It's a time thing, yeah. It's a small team, and you just need you have so much stuff to do, right?
Yeah, but says everyone is aware of
Good.
that. And a lot has been done in Cradle of Humanity, one must say. There's what a lot of encyclopedia entries added even retroactively for things.
Would it be possible, like we're now talking technically again, would it be possible to add this hyperlinked encyclopedia?
That's not a thing I can answer. That's a programmer question.
Okay, so
I think yes is the answer.
yeah, but if you don't know, like I don't want to pinpoint a question, an answer that you give right now. So let's say maybe it's possible.
Yes, as usual, the standard answer are nothing is impossible with enough energy put into it.
Okay, yeah, it's just like, do you need the energy to do?
Yeah, it's like it's time and energy, pizza, stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard pizza and I'm hungry now. So
yes.
Oh, you got something. Look at that. Something about food.
Oh,
Uh,
that's good. Food questions. I'm all about food questions.
okay, so pineapple on pizza?
No, hell no,
Oh, come on.
no.
No,
Sorry,
absolutely
you
not.
get banned on my forums
Oh,
if you are.
wow.
No,
Ouch.
we don't put fruit on good things. You can have your pineapples as a dessert, no problem. But
Okay.
pineapple on pizza, it just gets you banned.
Damn it.
Everyone can do whatever they want. Just don't sell me any.
Okay, I don't. I will remember that when we all maybe meet at some point in time.
Yes, yes, that would be nice actually. Meeting people.
Okay.
That would be a new thing for 2021.
Maybe. I don't really understand that question. It's from Tommy Gunn. Is there any info about fate of lost sectors? Were their residents all evacuated, or were their residents all evacuated, or were they just left to slowly die if the sector was dependent on its neighbors for food?
Yes, that's a good question in the sense that I don't have an answer.
Oh.
We have several ideas in the sense that you can come up with your own stories. The answer is chances are most will just be cut off and fend for themselves. If you recall the Cantarans in Rebirth, those were the kind of people that they were sent on a mission, so to speak, and then the gate shut down, and then they were cut off on the wrong side of the gate. They were Terrans, so they had to, scrap stuff and find a way to survive this. So that story is one of those possible. But you could imagine. I don't think most people will not be very good off, at least at the start, because most of the systems are interdependent. So yeah, there will be a lot of suffering. I think we wrote some of that into X3FL, but I would like to address this in a deeper sense in the future. To be honest, because often in games this is skipped. That something blew up, but people live there. So
yep.
I think games should not skim over these things.
And we
addressing
also
suffering and struggle is a thing that games should always aim to do.
We also really don't want to eat bofu all day.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. There's a question yeah, from Peanut Cat.
I was just exactly, yeah. That's pretty much correct. Yes, most of them died. Yes, that's a good answer.
Okay. Well, good for the lore, bad for the people.
Yes.
Anyway.
But life is like that. People die in life, and we should not make death taboo.
Yep. So. Yeah.
No, my neighbors are acting up.
Why? Because you're speaking.
No, it's just we are. I don't know if you know this. I live in Portugal. I'm a Portuguese person, and people speak loudly around here. So even though they are my neighbors and they are several meters away, I can hear them. I'm not sure if you can hear them, but
no,
if you hear people screaming, you know why.
Okay. It's not that you have someone in your second room like.
No.
Trapped.
No. It's literally my neighbor.
Okay.
Anyway.
Now we can't hear anything in the back. That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry. So you're working from Portugal. Well, that's are you? Well, at the moment everyone is like employed from home. But what about if that drops? Are you planning on moving?
No, not really.
Not really. Okay. So
I like the sun. We have sun. You have heard of that maybe?
I have heard about
good
it.
Weather.
Yes.
We have warmth. That's good. Those are good things to have.
Okay.
No, seriously, this is. I mean, obviously we are in May now, but we have 22 degrees at the moment, and it's sunny. It was raining an hour ago, like like a tsunami was coming down. But yeah, usually we have very warm weather, and it's sunny, and I like that.
Okay. Are other people like working for Egosoft that are not there? Not do you know how many? Just a personal interesting question.
There are a few. Not sure how much detail I should go on this, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there are a few
Okay.
people that work from different countries.
Yeah, okay, we know already one, like Mr. Sakharov, who's doing the music.
Alexei. Yes.
Alexei.
Yeah.
Exactly. We know some of them. That was just like it came up in my mind.
Yes.
It's just interesting.
No, but there are several people.
Mm-hmm. That's very interesting. I always find that very cool if you have like an international team. Also, like when you're talking, you're from Portugal. I think you can bring some different ideas that maybe, I know it sounds weird, but you can bring different ideas that Germans would never come up with, I guess.
Yes, though I grew up in Switzerland, to be honest, so
Oh, okay.
my mentality is probably not as far as
So
the most
even worse.
German mentality. So being on time and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
okay, cool.
It's not something people here had learned yet, but you know.
I guess working
yeah.
for a German company is that's a good feature.
Yes, no, Swiss people are they're not very tolerant for not being punctual.
I understand. I still understand. Okay, interesting question. What is sun?
The sun is a thing that is made out of plasma that is high in the sky, and when you live in countries that don't have clouds, you can see it and it gives warmth.
Do you have a different value than 100% there?
Yes, we have very good boost on sun.
Okay, cool. So when I need to build a solar power plant, I will build it at your place.
Yes, that's a good idea. Yes.
Okay.
Everything else is broken, but we have sun.
Oh, cool. So it's like Mercury.
Yes, basically.
Another one from Tommy
yes,
Gun.
Yes, you were reading Tommy Gun's question then.
Exactly. I will read it out really quick. What is known about Kark's fate? Were they all wiped out during Operation Final Fury? Maybe that's spoiler. I don't know. Or it was just one major hive that got eliminated.
Yes.
Is that spoiler or not?
Yes, this is a very interesting question. The official answer is it was just one major hive that got eliminated, because obviously they pop up in X4 again. So, yes. But they also got wiped up in Operation Final Fury, so there you have it.
Okay. Good. I don't see
people keep asking for the Kark to come back, even in X3FL. There was like one of the few first question was, are the Kark back? So I don't know why people like the Kark.
Maybe because they're like a bigger threat than the Xenon. I mean, I still remember when the Kark first appeared in X2, and that's why I left the X games, because they were like destroying everything, and I had no fun anymore.
Yes, but in X2 it made sense because that was the main driving story from it. So yeah, they needed to be scary, but the Xenon should not be underestimated in terms of being scary. Even in X3FL, we pushed the Xenon a bit, so you should have quite a few contacts with them.
There you go. So they're back. Yeah, that's an in-depth question. What are Karks? What are Karks? Are their infos how they look?
Not really.
Not really.
No,
so
there is insectoid is a good description, but I think it doesn't really fit because there are Kark are very alien, and that's why we should not even try to be very specific about them, because the one thing that makes them interesting and threatening is that we don't know much about them.
Okay.
So yeah, they have a hive mentality. They are not very reasonable. Let's say you cannot talk to them and oh, let's debate this. No. Yeah. Other than that, there is not much information about how they look, how they eat, stuff like that.
Species 8472.
Yes, it's kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay, for everyone that doesn't know Star Trek Voyager.
Yes.
Another
killer.
thing is, are you finished with Farnham's Legacy? Oh, you would say that it's finished how it is, and you're just bug fixing?
Yes, we are just bug fixing.
And you just do that occasionally, I guess, when people are experiencing bugs.
Well, we are now actively working on the first update that should be available soon, and by soon I mean really, hopefully tomorrow, maybe the other day. We'll try, and depending on how much we can squeeze in. Yeah, but once this is polished the way that it's really, we can say, okay, bugs are gone. Obviously, we probably never get any bugs out, but we are still finding bugs from reunion and stuff like that. So, yeah, we will call it the day. At least I will call it the day for X3 in the near future, and I'll leave the room. Everybody else can then step in and do mods, expansions, and all sorts of stuff if they want.
The game's not dead. It's far from that.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, Psychro, again, lots of kudos to him. He unlocked many features that usually would require you to have access to the source files. So he made most of the things that, not most, but a lot of things moddable one way or the other. So if there was an X game that was being possible to be modded, it's this one.
Okay.
So people can just go and have fun with it.
Okay. Well, I would say, I would call it my last question, and I really want to ask you that. Be aware Egosoft is watching. your employer is watching. But are you excited about the next DLC, X4?
I'm excited to any game development, if I must be honest, and this is not a cop-out answer. Game development is very interesting to me in the sense that you can influence things that people can enjoy, and I will always be excited to do. At this time, I'm more excited to go into X4 development more than X3 because it just gives more possibilities and allows for more grander ideas that still remain.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And okay,
X3
maybe
is a 15-year-old game. Let's not
maybe the
forget
last question. We're talking about future, okay? If there's anything that you could wish for, we're just talking about wishing, in an X5, what would it be?
Oh, Jesus Maria.
That's so Polish, that answer.
That's like...
I know.
What do you want? Free pizza for the entire life, or the answer to everything?
I don't know. Nothing you've thought about.
I don't think I could think that far away, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't know. I really can't answer that. There's so many things and not one specific one.
Okay, I can give you my answer.
Yes, 42. Thank you, Psychro.
The answer
42 is the answer. For everybody that doesn't know, this is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
It's the answer to the universe.
Exactly. Or 420. Of course.
Nah. Okay.
So if I would have anything, like maybe you're working that long, it would be planetary landing. Just thrown into that, just.
Yes, I keep hearing that.
Okay.
Personal note, I would not wish that, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
I know this is not very popular answer. I think people sometimes confuse what they think a future like that would be.
Yeah.
And then we have seen in the past several games that try to do features the communities or the gamers thought they wanted. Once they are in, it's not what they imagined, and then the backlash is rather strong.
Yeah.
So
this is the Apple way of do things.
Yeah.
If you ever heard of that, it's like people don't know what they want unless you give it to them.
Exactly. That's a very good way to put it. Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think in a space game like this you could do planetary interactions for sure. I mean, you could have some people would say, "Yeah, build a bigger station." Sure, but it's a station.
Yeah.
It's not. So you can land on planets and then do what? Fly around in empty space, waste huge amounts of resources on something you do once. I would be careful on wishing those things, to be honest.
I see. You're
The future
very
is
good.
the future.
You're a very good fit for Egosoft. Like this, I feel like Bernd has like what's the name when someone tells you what you need to do, he my goodness.
Like for a scout or something.
No. He told you exactly what to say.
Oh no! I've been saying this.
I know. But...
I mean, planet landings is like on par with multiplayer, probably the two most mentioned things in X games since the birth of the universe or something. I mean, this comes up all the time. I mean, we had a topic that had a 2-page summary of only links to topics that talked about adding multiplayer and planet landings. So, yeah, someone brought up Elite Dangerous. Yes, if you do planet landings on Elite Dangerous, that's how boring it gets. You land once, you roam around a few times, you explore some rocks. Sure, if you like that, fine. But personally, a space game is a space game. I rather have the mechanics be good and be focused on the space part of the. Yes, some interactions like terraforming I find quite nice. You can do terraforming stuff, for example, now in X4. Especially because it involves a lot of trading. I like trading a lot. Stuff like that, it's fine, but
maybe more interaction in space with the planets or something like that.
Yeah. Just pull them in maybe into how the economy works. Maybe expand on that portion. But but I'm gladly proven wrong, and then somebody tomorrow invents a way to do planet landings where you can have Sims like cities or stuff like that. Then you have a nuclear power plant to run your PC or something.
Yeah, maybe you can do it with a instead, like when you put three more zeros to the funding. Then we could talk about it.
Yeah, but again, I don't think it's not even. I was more thinking about the gameplay side. When you play a game, and you find a thing that is very nice, and it's shiny, and then you do it once, and then after you've done it 50 times, it's where's the button to shut this off? It's like if you go that, then it needs to be something that is not very, not just expensive, but it also not be very central to the gameplay. If you can do that for things that are on the side, but if you stuff like planet landings should have proper meaning. And again, Star Citizens, I'm still looking into what happens to that game, to be honest. But again, the focus has shifted to be a more FPS game rather than a space game, as it seems.
Yeah, could be also just a thing for now where they focus at. We never know. We'll see. Time will tell.
Right.
And so will it tell what you ever come up with in the next days or in the next weeks, months, years for X. I would call it a day for this interview.
Yes.
I would really like to thank you so much for being that open with us.
It's fine. I just hope I can,
It's
Yes.
fine. It just brushes it off.
Overtalk.
I think
Myself.
everyone just enjoyed that really much. I will put that, of course, on YouTube so that people
That's fine.
that were not in here today can also
Mhm.
have a look at whatever we talked about.
Right, and then they can quote me.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, I was aware that I definitely should not talk about stuff that is in the future. Not that I was any prepared for that or that I got a note or anything. Egosoft has not pointed anything to me out.
Mhm.
They were glad that we did that today. Even like Greg told me, I was talking with Greg, of course. I was asking him who should I talk with when I want to do such an interview, and he said, "Well, you, Ketraar." So, thank you so much.
Yes,
also.
here I am.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for being here.
that was
And-
like quite fun. I'm still a bit nervous because this is not my usual comfort zone, but yeah.
Me too. Me too. Absolutely. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little bit sunburned, but the rest is nervousness. Any last thing that you want to say to the community?
No, but just before I say to the community, I would like to mention again Psychro and Julian specifically, and all the other team people that helped make X3FL. This is like, yes, I'm here talking, but a lot of people put effort into that.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
And
Give me a second.
And the community. Yeah, sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes, and to the community, yes, if you have some game blocking bug, please be patient. We are looking into those. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy the games and play not just X games, but just play games and be nice to each other.
Thank you so much. The last salute from Saroon to you. Thank you so much. Paid for that. Big shout out and salute from Space Operations Delta for this interview. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to have a lot more fun stories and interesting stories in space.
Okay, thank you. Bye and have a nice day.
Bye. Thank you. You too. Ciao.
Ciao.
Okay, let me close that really quick.